Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. You are now tuned into the Vault Podcast, 567 Wealth Conference Review 2024. Definitely want to welcome you to the podcast. Thank you for joining live or in the replay. Definitely hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Always appreciate everybody that hits the like and the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate you all. So definitely hit the what they say, the like and the subscribe so you can come back and listen to these episodes, which is Trust Christian, Own Nothing, Control Everything. And we're going to be going over the Wealth Conference Review 2024. This was a very educational 2.5 day event. And whether you know it or not, even when we sat there once again, it maybe just gets to a point where you have so much capital under your control that no one else's capital around you at times moves you and shakes your tree. So we're going to talk about that in this episode. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. The Conference review was they were focused on next generation. You may sit amongst your families. You may sit amongst many things. People. Next generation is the mentality that was displayed in the wealth room. These are the traits and character traits of the wealthy. People say, oh, what happened? Are you focused on action? Are you focused on resources? No resources in the broad term, but you hear this term thrown around so much in the wealth environment. Why? Because they're focused on resources. We're focused on resources. First class in everything you do. Maybe everybody's not ready for that. Wealth management firm. All right. At the beginning of your day, you got to start out with your mission statement. This is wealth mentality, perseverance. It's lit. That's what we're saying. Interestingly enough, right now, there has they say you really even almost have to have almost a billion to say you're established, trustee now, ladies and gentlemen. You guys don't want to hear this on the internet. Oh, Trust Christian Devoe, he had to say that. He said that the wealthy say you gotta have a billion to be pretty much private. That means you can manage your insular. Your infrastructure is strong. They say critical mass gets thin. So let's just say it took you 10 years to get to a billion, but the second year you got the 10 billion. In the third year you got the 30 billion. It took 13 years to get 30 billion. It just didn't take 3. So interestingly enough, what we're seeing in the market is a heavy demand for talent. And when you're moving in a way in which says you want talent, it says you want team. And this is something that we saw through and through, ladies and gentlemen. We'll let you all know it's pretty much families running it. Even it's bigger than you know and they don't even know if it's deceptive. We're all playing with it. So the Wealth Conference, they said, hey, Trust Christian Vault, do they have people in DC fighting for, entrepreneurs, the investors, the guys that are willing to risk it all and give it up once or twice in life? Okay, well, let's go there. So, who are they writing laws for? Employees? Or are they writing laws for entrepreneurs to take advantage of the system of free enterprise? And so, we had a chance over the time to come in contact with someone that's in DC doing it. And here's the change up. You heard it first from Trust Christian in the Vault because it was too easy because we're focused on the higher gyms. When you want the higher gyms, you get the higher codes. If you're playing and fondling in the lower half, then that's what it's become of thee. But we're looking to stretch ourselves once again as we've always done. And you go to the Wealth Conference. And you don't want to hear, oh, we saw an NBA star. Does it matter? No. Because even they're not you. But what we are here to say is, okay, you're in an environment of good professionals, great accountants, great athletes across the board. So, what are the words? First word is there's an attack on wealth, so we got to start calling ourselves successful. Because these fools wanted to start attacking wealthy people. First of all, the kingdom of God is wealthy. So how could you not be wealthy? But somehow they want to put a wealth tax. Who's they? People that want to fight for laws for employees. That's not a wealthy minded person. A wealthy minded person would not do that. We can clearly state that. So once again, wealth minded. We are wealthy. It's that easy to say. The Wealth Conference. We're successful. And you think about how many people you know that are successful. Quite a few people you probably know are successful. And if not, we've, you can always look at someone that's in an industry that you want to be in and look and see what they're doing. So the Wealth Conference, we got to change the word from wealthy to successful. You're successful. How? Because you made a few different businesses work. That's it. Oh wow. How many people didn't take that risk? How many people didn't get on their third business, their fourth business? Some people have had over 10 businesses. We talked to millionaires that say, oh yeah, I had 10 businesses, failed before I ever got one of the last 15 off. So once again, wealth mind mentality. Interestingly enough, to see the market say go from wealthy to successful shows that there could be a possible scratch at the bit. And you don't want to get to that number and find out. We want to be prepared. We'll go ahead and say, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to put it in the ethers. I mean, we can make doubles and triples and stacks. The game, ladies and gentlemen, they say inflation's a little sticky. We're going to go ahead and put it out there for you. You heard it first from the vault. We're going to say that it's a little sticky. How sticky is it? It's a little sticky. They see it persistent. And so when we say they, it's us. And the market looks a little sticky. They reported a lot of strong labor things. There's definitely a market right now that is demanding high cost, but maybe not. And so these are things that, whether you want to call it speculation or not, we've seen that you gotta get to these conferences. We have people in DC fighting for the language so they don't try to condemn successful people. Here we go. Term if you don't know it. From the vault, first you heard it. What's the duration for the money? And this is definitely a term that you want to look up as a trustee. We know many trustees are going to listen to this episode. Definitely hit the like and the subscribe button. We always appreciate it. So, the duration of the money is definitely something that when you get around the wealthy and giving out loans, those things, it's interesting because you start seeing the conversation go stepped up of not just the cost of the loan, but the duration for money. They say it's the best time to invest and deploy money. Focus on the net operating income. You know, some net NOI. It's interesting because some people would say, "Oh man, why you focus on just one thing?" It's not. It's just a KPI. It's just a KPI. What's the cost of capital? Definitely another term to really buckle down on and stay studied down on and focus on making sure we're clear on. Uh, and that's where we really want to focus. American. Oh, this was a great one, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to break it down here. This comes from the mentor. Shout out Dr. Bay. He was checking on the real G today anyway. And so, America heard it first from the vault. America allows you to have leverage. Leverage is to mastermind, to be able to use your mind and work with others in harmony and cooperation. America allows people to leverage their minds, leverage their bodies. That's why you have human capital like financial capital. They have human capital and they have financial capital. And those levers that we're allowed with those things are leverage. Definitely appreciate that coming from the conversation. It was, you got to understand how powerful that is, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a game. America allows you to have leverage. You can literally get minds together in a short period of time, the duration of the money. Now we're going to the cost of the capital. Definitely high levels of conversation about supply and demand, high levels of always basic economics. They want to do models nowadays of cost to own versus cost to rent. What's your execution plan, ladies and gentlemen? These are like quality notes to get recorded for the next gen. Wait, what's your execution plan? What's the cost? Here we go. We say at this conference, sometimes it's not even always about the money. A lot of times they'll have additional speakers come in and they won't be a specific speaker about money. It might be about sports psychology. So this time we got to encounter a sports psychologist. And we really wanted to give this book out right now, ladies and gentlemen. You guys really would be blessed beyond blessed, but we're gonna see how it looks on the internet and then see what the blessing looks like. But nevertheless, it was definitely a blessing because when you get to see somebody that talks about sports psychology and you actually get to read the book, you'll learn. So we haven't done it yet. Don't hold us to the stake for this, but it is something that we say is something that would be worth grabbing. That we've encountered recently. The book has 5 stars on Amazon. It's called Learned Excellence. We're gonna drop it in the chat. We're giving you a freebie today. We're going super all the way forward. We're gonna drop it in the chat. It's definitely a book that you guys can listen to wherever you're at in the world, maybe through what is that, Audible, Learned Excellence. And he talks about these 8 traits that are just pretty much what the elite 25 athletes in the world do. They kind of distilled it down. We actually wrote this quote down. If you all want to hear it, we'll definitely share it. Hit the thumbs up or just type into the chat yes, and we'll give you a quote that they gave us from Roger Federer, who's a world champion in tennis. So here's somebody that they developed their body to a superior level to do something. Then we got, it's interesting, you start seeing what the days are like. How long are your days? They say you got to take out those minimum 8 hours and then you're stuck to 16. These are things that we really want to ask ourselves. It was interesting, you sit in a room and once again, it wasn't just about the money, it was about the study. It was about the study of what's your software, what's your modus operandi, what's your motives, what's your intentions, what's your software. And then they want to know what is your mental toughness? What is your loss aversion? They're asking these questions. Which side of the table would a guy that easily had over 25, $50 million to his name. He's probably handed off like maybe a 10 million for sure, or something, a million over with his dad. And if not, it didn't matter. He go with the 50. It's real estate, and the gentleman, he seemed very happy, very content. There's a few times we met a few of these people, and they've been fairly content. They like the returns they're getting. You gotta know, ladies and gentlemen, the elite, they're moving in the same circles. Oh man, y'all don't want to know. Oh, trust Christian involved. What you gatekeeping? Y'all gatekeeping? Y'all willing to pay to get through that gate? They want y'all on the other side of it too. Everybody paid to be at the gate unless you the host of the event. Oh, those were my clients. Yeah, they still had to save rooms at the hotel. They had a whole situation. It was a conference. Do they want you there? Not really. Not most people. Why? Because people are not sitting in the room studying. What you think is going on in the room? It's family values. The people that like run the event, their husband was there and their wife was there, and their in all of these situations, like it was a very it wasn't really too many, it wasn't any children actually in the room. So, but it definitely was very adult for family, estate, conversations. Even when they have people on stage that are talking about security. Ladies and gentlemen, no one wants to know that. But oh yeah, do wealthy people have that situation they need to be prepared for? It's called security. Yes, yes, yes. So how are we moving with security? Do you have security? Do you have a challenge mindset or a threat mindset? They say this is interesting. We'll share this gem with you for the internet for history purposes. Yeah. Taking walks, nature walks, is very, very important for your health. Being able to take walks and in nature in specific, but just walking in general on a daily is great. Do you have purposeful ventures? We're definitely going to do our best to get that guy for the book in the chat on here, so just be prepared for that. Got a few episodes for sure up our sleeve. Now, here we go. Are you focused on the digital future? Are you focused on the energy future? Are you focused on the the demographic change from boomers to Xers to Zers, millennials? What about the future of defense right now, ladies and gentlemen? You see how Trust Christian and Vault just called it out live and in color? Because that is where we are. We are in times where the gold has gone up and the price of things have gone up because inflation is sticky, not just because it's a great market, but people maybe are splurging again. I mean, that's the question. Are Americans splurging? We really wanted to study in this particular event. You go to these events and so many people, they say, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" First, you got to learn. Then you got to problem solve. And then you got to make decisions. And so these are the things that we see in the market that, oh, I'm going to just jump straight in there. Yeah, through learning. That builds confidence to problem solve. So, making decisions. Just wanted to share that. That was a very important learning that we got. You want to make sure you know how the market's performed over the past 90 years. It's been up over 70. So the stock market's been up. S&P 500 to date 2024. Here we go. How many people are going to do it in education? How many people gonna make money off interest rates and the arbitrage? It's not financial advice. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh man, wealthy people don't want to share their ideas. Not with people that don't want to make hundreds of millions of dollars. Wealthy people like a lot of money. That's what it's called, wealthy. They have generational wealth in their hands. They're moving it around. We're moving hundreds of millions, 200 million. That's what happens. You move a billion. That's if when we say move, look at it, ladies and gentlemen. It's called a wealth. Here we go. This is interesting times, ladies and gentlemen. When we talked about a few things on here that could really uh, have some people, shook as a book. But where we are right now is people are looking at some of these different statistics, and we want to share the statistics of the mindset is network, share ideas, and have fun. And that's interesting because that was the event theme. Think about this. They had so much, literally had a comedian cussing. How would a wealth conference would you do that? Well, because it's to keep you lighthearted. It's to keep you enjoying the moment. Do you have to go? No. You can have your own flow. Here we go. Network, share ideas, and have fun. Those are the key premises of wealth building. Is network, share ideas, have fun. Oh no, it's hard, Trust Christian. No, no, no. I just promise you, that's why they're not in the room with us. We share notes, compare ideas. Do you think, oh, we didn't share notes, compare ideas? What do you mean? You go up to someone, you talk to someone. Oh man, hey, let's talk to you later. Let's blah blah blah. And that's the interesting part. They see you in there and they want to know more about you. Share notes and compare ideas. That's very important. Operate. Oh, we got an episode for you. Cause a lot of people aren't operators, and they gotta face the facts. So if you're an entrepreneur owner, here we go. You gotta have a deep network of relationships, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta move into the big leagues. If you're in the big leagues, you gotta continuously sift through and go to many different events. Alrighty, here we go. Is it the cost of money or the cost of debt? Very important. Very important. They talked about private credit again, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about these things. Oh man, what's private credit trust, Christian Vault? It's non-bank lending. You heard it first from the vault. Trust Christian in the vault. Hey, so what's the cost of money? What's the cost of debt? There's a difference. What's the cost of money? What's the cost of debt? Real estate. If we're going into real estate, are we in the debt or are we in the equity? These are the questions that we ask ourselves as trustees and people that are looking to be in positions of we need to know the difference between money and debt and the difference between debt and equity. And so definitely talked about in real estate definitely talked about foreclosures, how the deeds passed along. These are things that we talked about. Uh, those are things that when you're dealing in multi-state, property management, you deal with those things. And so we're just mentioning it. So here we go. Stress test. What's the best case, base case, and worst case? So this is definitely very problematic level thinking. Um, And here we go. We got to meet actually the co-founder of Equinox, the gym, and it's so important, ladies and gentlemen, to uh, when you meet these type of individuals, they tell you their story of how they had to slug it out real quick, and you say, "Oh man, would I ever get through that?" Well, they did after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So would you be able to stand up to certain things? Would you have the passion and the commitment? And this is one of the things that we know that makes a difference as a trustee. And how does it make a difference as a trustee? Because if you don't think about this from the beginning, it slows some things down. So we would say, we know some people would agree with that. We know some people say, oh, you should never think like that, and they don't think like that, and that's fine. At the same time, we're going to say, knowing what your end looks like is easier to move forward. 100% every time. 100% every time. Here we go. Are you working your body to feel good, or are you working your body to look good? These are things that in the wealth environments, once again, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about your health. Are you talking about your health with your friends, with your constituents? Health. And are you working out to feel good, or are you working out to look good? You got that from Trust Christian Evolve first. The mortgage pool funds. How many of you all know what mortgage pool funds? We always want to encourage that trustees are aware of what mortgage pool funds. They say, "Oh man, I need to go run it." That is, so it's interesting that we see these things. Are you in the build to rent or build to own era right now? These are the areas that we can actually say we're throwing out in the public and saying, yes, are we in the era of build to rent or build to own? Because we're in the era where somebody can put up now something that says, "Oh, I'm gonna do $1,800 a month or $2,500 a month," and some decent markets are $3,200 in a month, and it's like a two next door neighbor, only one house connected townhouse in a community. Very build to rent, build to own. We can be part of the solution or not, but not all the solution. And this is something that what they call OGs, or what they call seniors in the environment. This is what they say. We can be part of the solution, but not all the solution. And that's interesting because these are seniors that are telling you, it's a teamwork basis. And here we go. VIP, you got this from Trust Christian Evolve first. Base case business. Base every business around you off human behavior. That's wild, right? People say, "What do you mean I got to do it for the rest of my life?" Here we go. Base every business around human behavior. Their buying habits. Everybody that's great, they always say they did that. We're going to do another episode. Got a great one for you there. What's your dietary patterns? We definitely would say, what are your dietary patterns? Once again, it came right back up in the wealthy environment again. Are you working out about 150 minutes a week with 2 weight work exercises? Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. If you're looking to reach out to the vault, you can reach out to the vault because we're here to address your concerns and fears. Reach out to Trust Christian in the vault. Christian at trustchristian.com. It's Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that is Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you. What happens when they want to do this to you guys? We're sure the gurus told you this for years, but now you're going to hear it again. So here we go. We gave you all the gem with the book of learned excellence. We know the trustees that really love the work that we do. We know that they're still listening, and we appreciate you all. Trust Christian Vault, feel free to reach out. So, uh-oh. Klaus Schwab. His name's Klaus Schwab. Executive Chairman of the World Economic Forum. WEF, right. Charles Schwab. So once again, this gentleman has wrote a book. It's called Stakeholder Type Economy. And they have a way of maybe wanting to do something and called a stakeholder society. So how do you earn your keep in a stakeholder society when right now you can earn your stake? You can earn a stake. You can go from zero to buy your own house. So you can earn it. So as a stakeholder society, it seems a little bit more evolved into something. So we're looking for that next thing through the digital distribution. What is that next thing in the digital distribution? What is in the digital future that is going to be the next best thing? Once again, the billionaire Saffron State said, "There's no substitute for preparation." Do you guys have a quality of earnings? Oh, you got that first one, Trust Christian and Vote. Right? Quality of earnings, Trust Christian and Vote. What is it? Qualified purchases. The variable price policy. Here we go. We're not giving that gem away. Huh? There was a lot of gems from that event, ladies and gentlemen. What we can say is, I'm not gonna you know, do too much by reiterating some of the things we talked about. But just know, ladies and gentlemen, it's not time to run for the hills of the panic. It's do your job as a trustee, grow the family estate, and that's how you're gonna move in like fashion for the rest of your life as a trustee, and that's how many want to do it. Oh man, what should I do, Trust Christian? How do I get it? How do I go next time? You pony up and you go. It's not always easy to find these conferences, ladies and gentlemen. These people don't really want to be sought out because they already made it. They have an insular community, but they're okay with people dripping in because it's like, oh wow, we're getting them to come in our circle now. That's about it. So we look forward to seeing people at the next event. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, it's Christian at trustchristian.com. Peace.